Good morning, Peter.
Good morning, Marina. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
I suppose we are not yet online, so...
I don't know.
Okay.
We are online, so get ready. People can hear.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, to the Info Days of Horizon Europe Cluster 4 Digital Industry Space. I'm Matthias Redman, and I'm a communication advisor at the Health and Digital Executive Agency, and I'm here today to moderate the first two sessions for you. Now, this is the welcome session of this event. It's 3 days filled with content on the calls, on deadlines, but we're going to start with a warm and light welcome by Marina Zanki, who is the Director of the European Health and Digital Executive Agency. Marina, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Matthias. So good morning to everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, many thanks for being here today with us to open and to follow for 3 days, as Matthias was mentioning, the Info Days for the 2023 calls for Horizon Europe Cluster 4. I'm the director of ADEA, and ADEA is the agency implementing the projects funded by Cluster 4. But we don't do this alone. We do with the DG Connect, with the European Space Agency, and as well with the EU Agency for the Space Program, the EUSPA. This agency, ADEA, which is European Health and Digital Executive Agency, it's a new agency. And it started its actions in April 2021. And we cover quite a wide range of programs and quite a big range as well of areas, which goes from food to health, but from digital, industry, and space as well. And our main aim is really to boost Europe, and to boost Europe by building, and it is a case of saying from Earth to space, an healthy society, a competitive industry, and a digital economy. At the first glance, you think they are so different, these programs, because the areas are so different. But just think a moment of the app we had when there was COVID. That was health together with digital. And that app allowed all Europeans to travel around the world, Europe and also outside. So you see how this interesting mix of program can create quite interesting applications and very good solution for our common future. Our portfolio, let me just recall you, covers Horizon Europe Cluster 1, Health, Cluster 4, Digital, Industry and Space, and we are here for that in particular, but also CEF Digital, Connecting European Facilities, the Digital Europe Program, EU for Health, and the Single Market Program, Food Safety and Better Training for Safer Food. Now, talking about Horizon Europe Cluster 4, ADEA is playing a very important role in the implementation. In fact, we are responsible for organizing all the evaluation processes, and we also manage the entire life of the projects which have been selected for funding. And in doing this, we work really hand in hand with the 4 policy DGs responsible for Cluster 4, which are DG Connect, DEFIS, GROW, and of course, DG RTD. But we don't only provide the implementation side, but another important role of ADEA is the feedback to policy. Because, as I said before, we really work hand in hand with the policy DGs, and we provide all the evidence-based, which allows the Commission services to have better policies and more impactful policies. Now, a few words. For digital, what do we do? ADEA is really supporting the development of the key technologies for a green and digital transformation, a human-centered development of emerging digital technologies for having a more competitive Europe and a more independent and autonomous Europe. For industry, HADEA supports the projects that accelerate the green and digital transition, and we increase even more the European autonomy in very key strategic area for having a more resilient industry. And finally, for space, HADEA is funding projects that prepare future evolution of the EU space programs components. We foster the EU space sector's competitiveness, and we reinforce once again the independent capacity to accept space, and we secure the autonomy of supply of critical technologies and equipment. As you see, our role is really fundamental to having a more competitive Europe. And for this, we do that together with you because we fund your projects. Now, a few data just to illustrate what we do over the years. It's a new agency, I said. We started less than 2 years ago, but under the work program 2021 and 2022, Cluster 4, we managed for Cluster 4 12 calls for proposals, leading to 332 projects. It's really an impressive number. And we cover a budget of almost 2 billion euros. And now, what is our plan for 23 and 24 under the new work program that has been just adopted? We plan to launch 19 calls for proposals, both single stage and two stage, aiming of funding a little bit less than 300 projects, 296 proposal projects, just to be more precise, for a total budget of a bit more than 1.7 billion. It's a really impressive number. And we do that with all kinds of stakeholders, research organizations, industry, SMEs, academia, and all the stakeholders who are participating to our projects. And that's why we are here today. And just to inform you a couple of novelty in this new part of the program. In the next work program, we will fund an overall of 30% of designed budget for the 23 and 24 with the lump sum grant, which is quite a novelty. We started already, but more under a sort of piloting, and it proved to be very useful for both sides, for us to manage and for you as a stakeholders participating. So we will continue in this direction. And another novelty will be also the blind evaluation as a pilot for the two-stage calls. So you see a lot of challenges ahead. As an information, we already published the first call of proposals a few days ago, the 8th of December. Now, I was told there are more than 1,000 people connected to this event, which is really an impressive number. And per se, it demonstrates already how you are interested in our program. So thank you again for being here. A last point I would like to remind, we are very proud to say that many of the projects that we have been funded in the last biennium have been selected as finalists in different types of awards, like the Industry 5.0 Awards, the European Sustainable Energy Week Awards, and the Innovation Radar Prize, which is an amazing news, means really we fund projects of very high quality. And that must be an example for you future applicants. So really proud to say so. Let me, before closing, thank all the colleagues who were actively participating to make this event possible, both in the policy DGs and my own colleagues in HADEA. And now I don't take more of your time. Before giving the floor to my colleagues, I really wish you a very fruitful discussion and good luck, because I really hope you will be very successful in your applications. So we look forward to working with you in the very near future. Have a very nice 3 days of working together. Thank you, Matthias. That's all for me.
Thank you, Marina, for your warm welcome. And so let me just pick a few points that you said. So you mentioned the many successful projects that were already selected and also even were finalists or received awards. So that's very impressive, and for an agency that's still so young. And also I wanted to thank the colleagues, as you mentioned, that helped to prepare this event in the background and are also here with me in different offices to make this run as smoothly as possible. So thanks a lot to all of you. And obviously also break a leg to all the speakers that are now going to follow Marina in giving presentations, in addressing all the nitty-gritty details that you, dear audience, are here for, to learn more about the calls, the deadlines, and so on. And with that, I want to hand over to our next keynote speaker. We have with us Peter Droll, who is Director for Prosperity at the European Commission, DG RTD. Peter, break a leg.
Thank you, Matthias. Welcome to all of you. Great that you attend these information days. There's not much from my side to add after Marina's great introduction. What really is important is that we reach the impact, the expected impact. And this is a key for you when you during these 3 days will follow the presentations from our colleagues. So this is in this cluster, digital industry and space. It's first about open strategic autonomy. This is reducing our dependency. So this is something to have in mind as a longer term impact. Second, it's about a regenerative, circular, sustainable economy. The second key strategic orientation. This is really about accelerating the twin transition, digital and green, and this cluster, this combination of digital, of industrial technologies and space is a good example of integrating these different aspects. So open strategic autonomy, sustainable, regenerative, circular economy, and thirdly, inclusive society. We see that every day, how important it is to keep the coherence, cohesion, and inclusiveness in this important transition. In this cluster, we put a lot of emphasis on human centricity as an inbuilt factor. So these are the key 3 strategic orientations which matter when you look at these different topics and prepare your proposals. Proposals for which we want really the best in Europe to win, wherever they are, in whatever member state, in whatever associated country to Horizon Europe. And this is important in order to help us accelerating this transition, which we set under the great umbrella of the Green Deal and the ambition we have in the current economic and political environment. The program is dense. You will hear from great colleagues. Marina mentioned 2 novelties, lump sums and blind evaluation. There will be special dedicated sessions to that. Also cross-cutting session on how to benefit from international cooperation, how to bring in international cooperation, when and where and how. So that's the program for today, plus the focus on 2 of our 6 destinations, twin transition and resilience. So a lot of EU support. Marina mentioned the investment, the amount, almost 1.7 billion euros, plus the investments of more than 1 billion under the joint undertakings, which serve the cluster digital industry and space objectives. So a lot to look forward to, and I wish you, for the benefit of our strong European Union, the best of success with strong partners, with a strong commitment, and your great ideas and ingenuity. Thank you very much. All the best. And back to you, Matthias.
Thank you, Peter, for sharing your vision and also your expectations to the applicants for our joint benefit as European citizens. Thank you. And we're very much ahead of time, actually, which is a rare thing at an event. So I want to, without further ado, already announce the next speaker in line. Now we have also Merete Clausen with us. Merete is here in this session the winner of the longest job title, right? So Merete Clausen is acting head of unit for investment conditions and public services at the European Commission DG GROW. Merete, the floor is yours. Well, we had her with us just a second ago. Are you still with us?
I am here, Matthias. I am here.
Perfect.
I was just waiting for my picture to come up on the screen, but I can already start.
Yeah.
So thanks a lot. Indeed, I'm acting head of unit for the unit at DG GROW that is responsible for our part of the work on the Horizon Cluster 4. I'm also director for the investment directorate in DG GROW. And on behalf of DG GROW, I would really like to welcome you and thank you very much for joining us today. The adoption of the working program was a joint achievement, but in a sense, it's the real adventure that starts now. And by that, I mean that because it's in the next period that we will start seeing the ideas coming in, the innovative ideas will make our industry more competitive and better equipped also to solve our great societal challenges. And as it has been said before, but I think it's really true, it's you out there in the research community who are the key actors in the success of our clusters. And we are very, very grateful for your cooperation and for your hard work. And the topics under Destination 2, which will be presented to you later today by Haidea, our implementing agency, which was introduced by Marina. These topics target a digitized, resource-efficient, and a resilient industry. And the topics under this destination, therefore, focus on industrial actions. And many of the calls under Destination 2 refer to industrial resilience. But of course, industrial resilience is not an isolated objective for us. It's intrinsically linked to and at the same time depending on and also a condition for innovation, which is the key to achieving the green and digital transitions in Europe, as we've heard many times. And this resilience is really an essential tool to do that, to achieve this successful transition to a climate neutral and circular economy. And it's a tool for our industrial policy. And it's very much about investment. We need to invest in building resilience into our supply chains by ramping up our manufacturing capacities. And very concretely, emerging technologies related to batteries, solar energy, hydrogen, semiconductors will play a key role in the resilience of our key supply chains in the years to come. A case at hand is critical raw materials, for instance, minerals and rare earths. Because critical raw materials are essential for the development of green and digital technologies. They are used in windmills, in computer components for smartphones, for smart cars, actually for the whole Internet of Things. And it's really crucial and urgent also, as highlighted by our president, President von der Leyen, in her State of the Union speech earlier this year. She said, without those critical raw materials, there will be no digital and green transition. And she announced that the Commission will be coming up with a Critical Raw Materials Act that is going to help make the projects happen faster. So we need to build up the capacities in the whole value chain for the critical raw materials. We need to be better at extracting them, processing them, recycling them, and at creating alternative supply sources, all the while respecting the social and environmental and biodiversity rules and principles. And for that, we need the new technologies. We need new ways of extracting, of processing, of recycling, and so on. Because we cannot risk becoming as dependent as on raw materials as we are on fossil fuels. So in brief, the calls in Destination 2 are intended to contribute in a very tangible way to the success of the green and digital technologies, not only supporting a sustainable and competitive industry, but also ensuring the availability of the resources and the supplies that are necessary for the achievement of climate neutrality and digitization. So I wish you and the research communities in your countries much success in developing and these technologies, in exploring our topics and in applying for the calls of Destination 2, and in, as I said, developing the technologies of tomorrow. And by that, good luck, and back to you, Matthias.
Thank you, Merit, and thanks for putting the spotlight on this topic of resilience of our industry and raw materials. And we see in the background your poster with a windmill and on sustainability. So we see you're very dedicated to the topic. So thanks a lot again to all the three speakers, so to Marina Zaki, to Peter Droll and Merete Clausen, for the warm welcome. Now, very rare that we are ahead of time, but the neat thing is obviously this is an online event. So give me just 5 minutes to outline the following 3 days, and then we can go into a short break and we see each other again. So here, this is what is going to wait for you for the next 3 days in 2 senses. So you see a neat, easy to read PowerPoint slides. So that's ahead of you. And then also obviously all these destinations and topics will be presented by my colleagues. So to give you a better understanding, so all these are consecutive sessions. So there's no parallel sessions, so it's easier for you. You're not going to end up in the wrong room. It's one after the other, but that also means obviously that slide changes and are possible in case some sessions run over time. Also, as you can imagine, we very much depend on, you know, the goodwill of our software, hardware, and connections that these sessions will run and be able to stick to the indicated timetable here. So we are now at the welcome session of day 1. The next session starting at 10 will be on cross-cutting topics. So both Marina and Peter Droll have mentioned the relevance of these to all of you. So it's new or fairly new topics like lump sums, blind evaluations, international cooperation and synergies. And this session will start at 10. So in roughly 40 minutes. So please join us for that one. And then after that, we will dive deeper into Destination 1. So climate neutral, circular and digitized production. And that will continue also after the lunch break today. And then in the afternoon of today, we will look into Destination 2, increased autonomy and key strategic value chains for resilient industry. And that's then we will finish around 5:30 today. Tomorrow, we start again at 9 o'clock Brussels time, so please tune in. And as you noticed today, we start on the dot, so don't miss out. And the morning session will be dealing with space. So Destination 5, space, tomorrow morning on 13 December. Then we have a lunch break, and at 2 o'clock, we focus on Destination 3, so digital, and later then Destination 4, digital and emerging technologies for competitiveness and fit for the Green Deal. So that concludes day 2. And then on day 3, so 14 December, Wednesday, we're going to focus on Destination 6, a human-centered and ethical development and of digital and industrial technologies. Always a mouthful, all these destinations. So please join us for Destination 6 on Wednesday morning. And then in the afternoon of Wednesday, we're going to continue with Destination 6, close that off. And then there's another cross-cutting session, mostly on the application process. So if you have any questions related to that, please join us for that session. That is relevant to all of you. And you can also then ask your questions if you still have any. And then on Wednesday, we hope to finish around 4 o'clock with our closing remarks. So dear audience, thanks a lot already for your interest and your patience with us. And the three keynote speakers have said it. We wish you all best of luck with your applications, and pay close attention to what our colleagues are going to present over the next 3 days. And we hope to see you back at 10 o'clock. So in, 35 minutes. So thanks a lot again to the three speakers and the audience. See you back at 10 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye.